My name is Christina, and I'm the managing director at Gideon Informatics. What Gideon is, it's the most comprehensive infectious diseases database in the world. We track every infectious disease in every country every single day. And I'll show you in a second how that could be helpful to you in particular. So let's just have a quick look at the latest updates we made. So we made over 14,000 updates in the last 48 hours. And this is our multidisciplinary scientific team tracking 20,000 different sources every single day so that they can provide you the latest data on infectious diseases at your fingertips so that you can make better diagnoses. Now, all of it is backed up by a vast amount of epidemiological data, and I'll show you how to explore that in a second. What Gideon has is four key modules. The Explore module, which is our main database on diseases, drugs, vaccines, microbes, and countries. It also has a laboratory setting that can help your microbiologists identify over 2,000 plus medically important pathogens. We also have a facility to diagnose diseases, and we'll dive into that in a second. And we also have data visualization tools. Now, let's start with diagnosis. So, as an experienced doctor, you would probably use this probability engine. Let me just put together a quick workup. Let's say we have a patient in India who is an adult experiencing fever. There are some pustules showing on their palms. There's back pain, and the patient appears to be severely ill. Now, from those, Gideon already put together a differential diagnosis, and septicemia bacterial seems to be the most likely culprit. Now, let's keep going and add a few more findings. So perhaps there is a rash, and maybe the patient has traveled recently. Maybe they've been to the Netherlands. And now we have mpox as the most likely disease because Gideon takes epidemiology into account and it affects the probability that it calculates. So, how does this work? This differential diagnosis here on the right hand side is running on Bayesian analysis. Gideon knows how frequent is each clinical finding in each infectious disease and how common is each infectious disease in each country. And it performs that calculation to provide you with a full list to consider. Now imagine our patient was not in Netherlands, but perhaps came from Albania, where that disease is not endemic yet. We will see this first case scenario button blink. And if I open it up, this is actually a feature that we designed for WHO organization when the West Nile fever came to New York in 1998. So what it helps you do, it identify diseases that are not endemic to your country or to that particular country, but is compatible with the signs and symptoms selected. And in here, we see that mpox is actually over 99% probability. Now, another thing you can do, you can ask Gideon why a disease did not appear on the list. So why is Ebola not on the list? Well, because it's not endemic to Albania and pustules do not typically present with this disease. Now, what you can do from here, you can add diseases to comparison table, and I'll do that in a second. I'll compare septicemia and mpox. I will go into the comparison list. I'll remove these over here, and I just want to compare mpox with septicemia. So now we can compare side by side what clinical findings will always present, never present in diseases, and we can get some insight into helping us diagnose or send for correct laboratory tests. Furthermore, we can share a PDF of all this workup or the table of comparison with our friend or a colleague. We can put the email right in here, click send, and the interface will do all the work for you. We can download the PDF on any page in Gideon as well, or we can compare diseases by their fingerprint, in other words, agent, reservoir, vector, and vehicle. Now, we can also do the same for drugs, bacteria, mycobacteria, and so on. You can see what we're comparing here, but I'm not going to go into that in more detail now. So in terms of the diagnosis, this tool could be really, really useful for you to help you consider all the possibilities. And it directly is compatible with a student interface, which is a little bit more interactive and picturesque, if you like. It walks residents and fellows that are perhaps in their first year of residency through all the steps necessary to diagnose a disease so that they don't forget what to ask the patient. Okay, and even the age, as you can see, affects the differential. Now, what else we can do? Well, we can ensure that we don't overprescribe unnecessarily. So perhaps we have a person who caught Yersinia pestis and Bacillus anthracis at the same time. Very unfortunate indeed. But there are 27 antibiotics that can help conquer these pathogens. And if we click on one of them, what we'll find is the mechanism of action, the typical dosage for children as well as adults, any toxic effects, interactions, all the trade names that are known in the world, and also the full spectrum of pathogens that these drugs affect. And again, we can look at the references, email the PDF, or download the PDF. Now, suppose we are only interested in a particular country. Maybe I want to go to India. Let's say what we have in India. So the first thing that you are going to see is travel guidelines for that country. So there could be vaccine related, non-vaccine related travel guidelines. For India, we have quite an extensive write-up here. Is malaria prophylaxis recommended or not? What diseases are relevant to that country? When has the latest outbreak occurred and how many cases there were recorded? So for instance, we have adenovirus infection, 12,000 cases in 2023. I'm going to click on this, and this will take me to a country note. As I mentioned before, we have 25,000 country notes, so it really gives you a broad overview of what's going on in each place. And in here, we will have tables such as prevalence surveys in various regions. We will have seroprevalence surveys, notable outbreaks. We can enhance this table with extra data if we like, case series, and related diseases that we recommend you looking into. Now, what else we'll have in each country note? We will have vaccination coverage graphs and also vaccination schedules. This could be very helpful if you have a patient that came from a different country and you are not sure what vaccinations they may have had. In terms of visualization, we can also do a lot in here. Let me just find India over here, and we can see a lot of graphs and diseases. Some of them are regional, some of them aren't. Let's, for example, take malaria. Malaria graphs, and we can see that we can compare region to region if we like. So I'm going to take, for example, these three. I'm going to generate the chart, and here we can see a very nice comparison chart of malaria cases in these regions. Okay, well, let me stop right here, and I hope this piqued your interest. If you would like a more comprehensive overview of what Gideon can do for you in a clinical setting, I would absolutely love to connect with you over a demo. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching.